Hello, everyone. I'm that one nerd, Jacob.
And I'm that one Scout Collins.
And I'm Diabetic Dan.
And welcome
Dan.
to episode 16 of Those Nerds on a Podcast with our guest, Diabetic Baniel.
That is I.
That is he, indeed.
He is here.
I am here.
I'm just gonna do my thing of doing really early nerd outs. I'm gonna go now. Nerd out. The fucking Arlington Renegades, baby! The fucking Arlington Renegades! First, we tripped and fell into the championship, and then for some reason, we just went absolutely ham on the best team in the XFL, not letting them gain a lead or tie the lead once the entire fucking game. Let's fucking go, boys. Jesus Christ, I was popping off so hard the entire game last night, and rightfully so, because again, our team kind of sucked, and then all of a sudden the South Championship happened, which they tripped and fell into, and then they tripped and fell into a win over Houston, and then they played the DC Defenders, who had a 10-1 record going into the championship, didn't really let them do a fucking thing, so that was pretty cool. I fucking love the XFL, wee-oo, and I am so happy. Boom, I'm done. That was a 1 minute nerd out.
I love your use of the phrase tripped and fell into a championship.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. They pretty much tripped and fell into a championship game.
Doesn't Florida have a team?
Yes, the Orlando Guardians, who went 1-9.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, nothing good ever comes out of Florida.
Facts.
What about Gator stuff?
Well,
Gators.
yeah, besides them.
Yeah, but are we talking college
You
Gators, or are we
know
talking
what
like
about.
Gators?
I was talking like the actual reptilian.
Bro,
I was talking
Gators,
about the
you can
football
get
team.
those in Louisiana.
Yeah, but Florida Gators are based. They eat giant snakes and do cocaine.
That is pretty base.
Yes.
Based
And we also,
Florida
I
Gators.
almost forgot to mention Florida Man.
Yes.
We do have Florida Man.
Florida Man is
So,
one of the craziest things to ever exist.
The Florida men are the reason our enemies fear America.
Facts. They're just like,
Yo,
yes, we're gonna invade the country. But that one fucking state, Florida.
They invade Black. You hear Black Betty playing in the distance as a bunch of people missing teeth hopped up, carrying 20-year-old AR-15s, and just yeehawing. Pickup trucks just go flying over the hills.
have y'all ever looked up Florida Man and then put your birthday after it?
Yeah.
Yes. I vividly remember doing it. It was Florida Man runs onto tarmac, gets head chopped off by helicopter.
My day is Florida man builds small helicopter to get into the White House.
Oh my god. Did the guy that got his head cut off run into your guy that built a helicopter?
Yeah, mine doesn't have any. They didn't do anything with helicopters, unfortunately. I'm kind of jealous about that. But what he did do was he attacked a mattress in a jealous rage. A meth smoking Florida man attacks mattress in jealous rage. So I don't know what he was jealous about, but
He's jealous that
mattress.
bitches actually lay on the mattress.
ooh yeah.
Why does this
Mattress
mattress
blade.
smell like cum? So it's beating the shit out of it.
Damn. Based reaction, honestly. Alright, well, since we actually have a guest this week, unlike last week, Dan, how you doing? How's, obviously, Florida life?
Doing well. Florida life is great. We have a very based leadership here in Florida.
Very,
But,
very based.
Yep. Living in Florida is good. That's all I gotta say about that. Don't want to get too deep into it, but
Fair.
I personally believe that Florida is one of the freest states out of the rest of them. So
I can concur.
Fair.
yep.
Fair.
Of course, we all have freedom to an extent, but
Because America Fuck yeah!
So
Oh,
Dan,
yeah.
can we bully Caleb into buying Advanced Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp now that we're both on here?
Oh my god, this was your plan all along.
We definitely did discuss this beforehand.
Yes, this was
But yeah,
100% discussed. You better buy it, Caleb. Drop $60 right fucking now.
do it now.
Or
Do it
else
now.
I'm
Right now.
replacing you with Dan on this
Oh,
podcast.
yeah,
You
and
can't replace me.
all we're gonna talk about from now on is Advanced Wars.
That's the theme of the podcast. Every nerd out is just a new thing about Advanced Wars.
Yeah.
Just a nerd out about every single CO and then every single unit and then every single like terrain piece you could be on.
Those nerds on Advanced Wars podcast.
Yeah, it's all it is just tier lists of all the units and deep dive analyses about how good like Lash is on mountainous terrain and all that.
Facts,
I
dude.
don't even know what that is, but good for y'all.
You would know if you have Advanced Wars 1+2
Yeah.
reboot camp.
You know,
Buy it now for only $60 on the Nintendo eShop.
Or technically get it $10 off if you do the 2-game voucher for $100. Very large list of games, mostly first-party Nintendo games, and they're all very good. Like, for example, you could do like I did and get Advanced Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp and Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Save a total of $30. Not sponsored.
you should be with it. But how much Jacob likes to just go off about Nintendo games, the fact that we don't have a Nintendo sponsor, shake my head.
I am such a bitch for Nintendo stuff.
Yeah, bitch Tendo, Nintendies nuts.
Shut the fuck up.
If you want to be sponsored by Nintendo, you gotta have at least like 5 million followers or something.
Yeah, and I have to be like very clean. I cannot swear. So that
We're
shit's
working
out
on
the
it.
window.
Oh well, yep.
Hey, Jacob is clean-ish.
No. No.
I don't know.
I-
I saw him sticking a needle in his arm the other day.
Whoa!
He's diabetic.
Oh,
He does that.
okay.
I'm not
Are you
diabetic.
sure?
No.
Oh.
Dan's diabetic.
But he said he saw me sticking a needle in my arm.
Oh, I thought I heard Dan was like, yeah, Jake stuck a needle in my arm the other
Oh,
day.
no.
I was like, well, yeah, he's obviously got a safety syringe. Those are what those are called, right? Safety syringes.
Something like that.
Safety's nuts.
Ah!
Oh, got him. Oh man, I'm never gonna recover from that.
I fucking hate myself.
Could be worse.
How could
You
it
could
be
be-
worse?
You could not own Advanced Wars 1 and 2.
You're right.
Exactly.
You're right. Guys, listen, my life was so horrible before I bought Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp for the Nintendo Switch as one of my 2-game vouchers for only $99.98 on the Nintendo eShop for Nintendo Switch Online subscribers only. Vouchers last 12 months.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Guys, I was suffering from clinical depression, but then I bought Advanced Wars 1
Yep,
and
I'm no
2.
longer depressed. I no longer have depressing thoughts because of Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp. Oh, man.
It's pretty fun so far. I've only played a few rounds, but it's definitely a trip down nostalgia lane.
Facts, dude.
Good.
I need to learn I need to play Advanced Wars before I get to, like, the minute differences between it and Wargroove. But I was pretty good at Wargroove, so I figured if I'm pretty good at Wargroove, I should be pretty good at Advanced
You know,
Wars.
I would hope someone who's actually in the military is good at, games that require military-esque strategies.
But listen. Not everybody that puts on this uniform is a genius.
I never
just
said
gonna
you were a
say-
genius. I just said hopefully you at least kind of know what you're doing.
If kind of knowing what I'm doing is the answer.
Man, if only online multiplayer was more than 1v1s.
I feel like they're gonna patch that in soon.
I really hope so.
You know what I wish had 1v1s on?
What?
spin the bottle.
Oh,
Just
you
like, all right, let me
fly
spin.
dog.
Oh, I gotta give you a sloppy kiss. All right, your turn.
Oh, dude, we gotta play spin the bottle. 1v1 me, bro.
1v1 me on
You
Rust.
won me.
1v1
Oh,
me,
no.
final destination, no items.
Oh my
Oh
goodness.
no! Oh no! No items. I become a lot better at Super Smash Bros. Whenever I have items, and I don't know why.
It's because then it becomes just a fun party game.
Very true. If you eliminate the items, that's when you have to actually rely on your
Skill.
innate skill. Yeah,
Yeah.
with a certain character.
So what I'm hearing here is Caleb has a skill issue.
That's what I'm hearing too.
A skissue, if you will.
Skissue.
Speaking of Smash Bros, I'm gonna plug Smash Out 4. Hopefully I'll remember to put it there, but in the description of the YouTube video, there will be a sign-up link for the tournament.
There's a tournament.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's Saturday.
Yeah, this upcoming Saturday, May 20th, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time.
This'll be-
And you can watch it for free on twitch.tv/thatonenerdjacob. I know I signed up. I used to try to avoid signing up for my own tournaments, but I just had fun whenever I signed up for the tournament, so I'm like, fuck it.
Time to fix that.
I swear,
I don't know.
Caleb.
He'll still have fun if he goes up against you, I feel like.
Well, because whenever I faced Caleb in Smash Out 3, or I did face Caleb in Smash Out 3, that was my first opponent.
Oh, who
Mhm.
won?
Me?
Oh. Well,
Yeah,
I don't
hang
know.
on,
I was kind of expecting a different answer by how everything was prefaced right there.
Yeah, let's see. In Smash Out 3, it was me and Caleb in a play-in game, and I beat him 2-0 in the set, so... Bowser Jr. better than Ike. I don't know what to tell you.
Gotta play that DK, Caleb. I'll give you the lowdown.
And the entire time you're learning, you have to listen to the DK rap 10-hour version.
Yeah, all you gotta do is just cargo throw him into the stage and you win.
That's honestly true.
Gotta mix up the timing a little bit.
Like, I can't even argue with that, because that's how I always lose to you.
It's been so long. Whenever we were playing in the VIP chat the other day, I was missing like all my timings. I wasn't doing the throw properly, and so it was always just like it was always a failed attempt, and then half the time I would SD because of it. So that was fun.
You're missing DK? Kill yourself.
Um,
What?
I
That's
need
what
to.
SD means.
Yeah, I know, but I need to play Smash throughout the week this week just to get myself ready for the tournament.
Oh, you practice for the tournaments?
No, I don't.
I don't either.
That's why I'm
Yeah,
saying,
I
like,
know.
I probably should, so I have a chance to not go 0-2. The only reason I didn't 0-2 is because I faced Caleb, which, since neither of us practice, we just turn our brains off and hope for the best.
Yep. And somehow I still can keep consistently getting 5th place.
Hey, man. I mean, it's kind of hard to get lower than that whenever there's only like 8 to 9 people per tournament. As long as one person, DQs himself by not showing up, congratulations, you made the top 8 graphic.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're right. Hey, that's a guaranteed graphic appearance right there.
I'm always a top 8 guy. That means I'm one of the elite. in Smash.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yes. Caleb is one of the GOATs of Smash Bros. Because he consistently gets top 8 in an 8-player tournament.
Yeah, yes.
Never seen anyone more skilled.
Mother of God,
it's
he
okay.
might be the one.
Even though I beat Caleb in the first round in last month's Smash Out, I think it was either he got a bunch of DQ victories or he got really, skill issue ridden players, because I got 7th and he got 5th.
It do be
That
like
is
that.
that is quite
sometimes.
funny.
Yeah, dude. It was weird not seeing like you, Avery, or Colton jump in though.
I could have sworn that I was in the last one, or maybe it was the one before.
Yeah, you were in Smash Out 2. It was like you,
Uh,
Colton, and Avery took the 2 through 4 spots, and Jay won.
Fucking Jay.
Dude, I'm
Yeah.
just saying, right? The guy that won this past tournament's from North Carolina. Jay's from South Carolina. I need them both to sign up for a tournament so we can have the Battle of the Carolinas.
The Carolina Reapers.
Or we could just have them annexed out of not part of the U.S. anymore. Just get rid of them. They're not allowed here anymore. And then have it region locked.
Region lock,
Sorry,
damn.
sorry, you're not allowed.
You have to set your location to Oklahoma.
Okay. Go ahead and pay $200 up front for a VPN just so that you can take part of this.
Or you can pay
part of
me
this thing.
$200 up front, and then I'll just register you manually.
True.
But
Yeah,
Caleb,
that's
what you
big
brought
brain
up,
plays right there.
is there a sports team called the Carolina Reapers? And if not, why not? Since the Carolina Reaper is like a known pepper, there needs to be a sports team called the Carolina Reapers.
There should be, and they should be an opposing team for the Savannah Bananas.
Oh my god, yes! That is a genius. Okay, for anyone who doesn't know who the Savannah Bananas are, right? Picture the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball. You know, they don't play actual teams. It's more supposed to be like a fun time. That's the Savannah Bananas. And I want to see the Savannah Bananas versus the Carolina Reapers now.
Love the Harlem Globetrotters, dude.
Hell yeah, dude.
I haven't seen any of the Savannah Bananas stuff though, but I really enjoy the Harlem Globetrotters.
Did you watch the Try Out the Laugh challenge? This last one on Jake's channel.
Did I watch it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
one where-
Caleb sent a Savannah Bananas video in it.
Yeah,
Remember
yeah, yeah. I was there for that.
The clip of the umpire twerking on the guy who goes struck out. That was the Savannah Bananas.
Yeah, yeah. I saw that.
He
I'm like,
was
there's no way
sturdy with it.
I thought
Yeah, he
you were
was
gonna
good.
break on that. I was hoping on two things. I was hoping that he hadn't seen that clip, and I knew what was real. I knew if Jake didn't know who the Savannah Bananas were, he would have broken.
Honestly, even knowing who they were, I almost broke. Like, I've seen the umpire, like, get down by, like, doing a little shimmy while the rest of the team is dancing. I've never seen him walk up to another player and just start throwing it back.
And then I was watching that video. I was like, "Oh, it's the Savannah Bananas." And then, like, a lot of people who had never heard of them was like, "What's going on?" I don't understand.
What
Yeah,
kind
I
of
was
baseball game
confused
is
as well.
this?
I was quite confused. I'm like, there's no way that this is the MLB.
Can you
Imagine.
imagine just 3 pictures? Oh, gotta guess.
Imagine they actually did play a game against an MLB team. They didn't know what was going on, and then all of a sudden, everyone in the outfield just starts dancing, and then the pitcher throws like the meanest strike you've ever seen.
Man. They'd be shook, dude. They wouldn't even know what to do.
Cry, cope, and seethe. That's what they should
Oh,
do.
Cope and seethe. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I love Duke Nukem.
Fair. Duke
Oh,
Nukem,
man.
pretty based.
I've heard of Duke Nukem. I don't know what it.
So Duke Nukem had his start as a rip-off of every 80s action hero, and it was sort of like a parody, right?
Mhm.
So Duke Nukem would like come in as a video game, and he would like do these really cheesy 80s lines, and it was like a complete rip-off of other stuff.
Yeah. And then also just the memes, just like, dun, 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 dun. Who just shit my pants? I
Yeah,
know
because-
it wasn't me.
That's not,
Like basically, that Duke Nukem would say stuff like that, except to be more like Steven Seagal, like, action hero stuff like that. So cheesy action that it made you kind of cringe a little bit, but at the same time, it's like fun.
I've
And
got
then there was
a
supposed to
study
be.
right here.
Oh,
Sorry.
yep. That's one. That's one. Says you're a pussy.
Oh man, I've said that. I've seen that so many different times on TikTok.
I'm here to pick bubblegum and chew ass, and I'm all out of ass.
Oh my god. All right, so last night during the game, obviously I got very drunk.
Oh my
And,
goodness.
Caleb, I don't know if you had a chance to see the video yet, but
You mean the one with Steve Austin?
yeah, quoting
Oh, yeah.
wet ass pussy in a Steve Austin voice.
I wanted to shoot you.
I thought that was the funniest thing ever while I was wasted.
Oh yeah, I was just like, oh, he's drunk, and then he just kept going and going. I was like, I need to put him down.
Right, I listened to the.
There's nothing left for him.
I listened to the, friggin' SpongeBob song that you.
Oh
that
yeah,
you sang.
the official 2023 XFL Championship halftime show presented by that wonder Jacob. Dude, it
and
felt
if you,
like what?
Oh, I was gonna plug your Discord. If you want to see what video I'm talking about, you can join this Discord server by clicking the link below.
Yep,
Dan
I gotta put
literally is
2
a
things
mod.
now. But yeah, no, like it was kind of weird because halftime, halftime in football games is like a solid 15-20 minutes. I was able to sing the short version of Sweet Victory, and then the game came back on. The short version's like a minute and a half, and it took me maybe 2 minutes to set up the Bluetooth speakers. That was like a 3 to 5 minute halftime at best.
Good. Get back to killing each other.
I'm still so happy though. I'm gonna be like
So
annoying about it.
what are the are there any major rule differences in the XFL?
I
compared to
am
the NFL?
glad you asked, Dan. I love talking about the XFL. All right, listen. Major rule differences. First, for kickoff, it's not like a standard kickoff where both teams start moving once the ball is kicked. The teams do not move until the ball is caught by the receiver. The teams line up on the 30-yard and the 35-yard line, and the person kicking the ball has to hit it into the at least 20 yards or 20-yard line to the field goal for it to be considered in. And if it goes out at all, it adds on 15 yards, and they don't even spot it. They basically just say, oh yeah, you're on the other team's 45 now. Good job. The kicker fucked up.
Oh my goodness, dang.
So, but yeah, neither team can start running until the referees give a signal that the receiver has caught the ball. Second, extra point attempts. Obviously, touchdown still worth 6 points, but there's no field goal for the extra point. You either line up on the 2-yard line for 1 point, 5-yard line for 2 points, or 10-yard line for 3 points. It spices it up a little bit. I do kind of like it compared to just, an extra point from the kicker, because 90% of the time the kicker's gonna kick it, right down the middle. So there's no interest in that. There are still kickers and everything. You can still kick for a 3-pointer if you don't reach the end zone, all that stuff. And then probably the most absolutely fucking bizarre rule, in the fourth quarter, if you lose possession of the ball, like if you reach the 4th down and you should be losing it, if you are tied with the leader or trailing the leader, you can instead go for a 4th and 15 from your own 20-yard line. And if you miss, and the opponents get the ball at the 20-yard line. But if you make it, you basically get to start a whole nother drive without having to worry about an onside kick. So a situation that could rise with that, your opponent's like ahead by, say, 14 points, right? So You score a touchdown in the fourth quarter, go for 3, it's good. So you get 9 points. You're still down by 5 points, meaning instead of giving the ball away through a actual like kickoff or trying to do an onside kick, you could just try again for a 4th and 15 and potentially get another 9 points without your opponent even being able to get the ball kicked to them. It's so weird, but also
That's
kind of
bizarre.
cool.
How often is that used?
I
Is
haven't
that pretty
really
much like every
seen
game?
I haven't seen a situation where it's led to like back-to-back 9-point touchdowns, but
Well-
it happens pretty frequently, like at least once
Okay.
a game. But it
Yeah,
can only
yeah, I
take
was
place in the fourth quarter if you're tied or
Oh.
behind. Like you
I
can't
see,
do
I
it
see.
if you're ahead. Like if you're at 35 points, your opponent's at 21. You can't score a touchdown then immediately turn around and for another drive. Like you do have to
Yeah.
kick it away at that point.
Hmm. Okay, yeah, I was curious to know how often the 4th and 15 play is utilized, but that sounds like a lot of fun. I might have to start watching
Yeah,
the
I mean,
XFL.
there's always next year, especially after this season, I'm gonna try to get home game season tickets for the Renegades because the cheapest
Ooh.
season ticket is $100 and it's 5 games, so you're basically paying $20 a ticket, which does not sound that bad at all. And again,
There were
I just
10
love
games.
football. Well, there's 10 home games or 10 games, 5
Oh.
home, 5 away.
I see. That's
Like,
that's not bad.
It's a very short season since there's only 8 teams. I'm hoping they can expand the league eventually, but I don't think they will because it's kind of supposed to be treated like a minor league development for the NFL.
Hmm.
Like, I know they were talking about it last night during the game that there have been a confirmed total of 60 players invited from the XFL to NFL training camps
Oh, wow.
just from the season. So,
It's what the XFL needs to know its role and shut its mouth. But seriously, a good minor league would help the sport a lot. Sort of like notice how baseball players, there's a lot more professional baseball players than any other sport because they have because you could go to the triple A's, you can go to the double A's, you can go to the A's, just the single A's.
I didn't even know the single A was a thing.
Single A is a thing. It's just not as common because those guys are like part-timers. But you have all these guys and all these different skill levels. You know, some are on their way out of their careers. Some people are coming in and they can develop their skills against other people. And it's sort of a better system than football has, where you can make more money. And like say you're a good football player, but you're not as good as an NFL player, you could still make a living playing football.
Yeah, exactly. And since you can sharpen your skills still, since you're not having to just immediately drop the sport straight out of high school or college, wherever you're transferring in from, there's still opportunities for you to be seen. Because if you don't get drafted from college and you graduate, you're done. There's no chance. Like, this opens the door for a lot more people.
Isn't it like a 3% rate from college football to the NFL?
Yes, there is a 3% rate from college football to the NFL. Only 3% of players will make it to a professional, system in their entire life. And that's like, it's a sad statistic to see because there's some people that are like really good at the game, but they're just not slightly better than the one person ahead of them. It sucks. And that's what the good thing with the XFL and the admittedly shittier USFL. Also, fuck the USFL. I hate the USFL.
Why do you hate the USFL?
Okay.
Why do you hate them?
All right, listen. I want to like the USFL. I love football. Wee you. I love sports. Football is something I grew up watching with my dad all the time. And because of it, I just love watching football. The USFL waters it down so much. So, it's like the XFL. There's only 8 teams. But again, since it's supposed to be a minor league development league, that's not bad. They do not travel. They pick one stadium to play every single game in for the whole season. And that's where it is. Last year, it was in Alabama. I don't know where they're playing this season, but you could imagine that if you're playing at a stadium where only one team is the home team, the crowd's going to be empty the rest of the time, right? Like,
yeah, I can see
I
that.
remember, I think it was the Houston Gamblers versus the New York Commanders. I think that's the New York team. Uh, Also, there's no Dallas team, and I refuse to support any team coming out of Houston, so fuck Houston. But it was those two. That was like one of the only USFL games I watched. And when I tell you, this was like after a lot of COVID regulations were lifted from stadiums, so people could fully fill a stadium again. I think I only counted maybe 100 people tops in the crowd.
Oh,
And
that's not
it was
good.
in a stadium that sat at least 10,000, which again, for a minor league, that's not a big ask, you know? NFL, you can seat 70 to 90,000 to any given game. Fine.
Mhm.
For a minor league though, to only have 100 people in a crowd, it's because they don't travel. You know, they don't have home teams except for one team. I mean, technically there's the home team, but again, it doesn't work. I don't think you can make a sports league work if you don't travel, unless it's like, again, a situation like the Harlem Globetrotters or the Savannah Bananas, where it's not meant to be serious. It's supposed to be more of like an entertaining stage play, just in a different form, you know?
I can think of
Territories
a-
do not work for actual sports leagues.
I could think of a way that having a home team once a year, or like having the game happen once a year, would be advantageous, and here's how I would do it. Literally a 1 day or 3 day tournament.
Yeah,
Now
see, if they did that with the USFL, it would make more sense, because
that would be interesting.
yeah, if you're cramming the entire season into like maybe a week's worth of games, do it from like Saturday one weekend to Sunday of the next weekend. If you do that, then that makes more sense. But no, this is, I think it's like the XFL, a 10-game season with 4 games a week, and then you have the championship. So that is a total of 42 games being played in one stadium, that only one team is going to be able to technically be the home team. It doesn't work.
Shit, man.
Man, that field is going to be torn up.
Yeah, the field's going to be torn up. Like, it needs constant maintenance. Again, for teams that don't come from the area that the games are being played, no one's going to go, because no one's going to want to drive like 12 hours to go watch a minor league football team. The only reason I drove to Arlington to watch the Renegades is because it's a 2.5 hour drive for me. I can justify driving 2.5 hours to watch a football game for a minor league team, but if it was like the same as the USFL, like, oh, all the XFL games this season are going to be held in Seattle, Washington, I'm not driving to Seattle to watch the Renegades play. I am not. I would never do that.
Yeah, I think that if they obviously, and this kind of goes without saying, but if they were to expand, they would need to generate more revenue, and I think that might be why they only have maybe like one location for the USFL, is because I mean I personally I've never heard of that. So it could be that they're not even really advertising.
Does the USFL have a Canadian have a LA team?
Hang on, I can look up the teams right now. I know the main difference though between USFL and XFL, Dan, like you were saying, is funding. The XFL is owned by Dwayne fucking Johnson. You know, they have money.
Nice.
I think the USFL is very independently owned. So again, they do have less revenue to go through. Yeah, let's see here. So the teams for the USFL are the Michigan Panthers, the New Jersey Generals, not the New York, my bad. Philadelphia Stars, Pittsburgh Maulers, Birmingham Stallions, Houston Gamblers, New Orleans Breakers, and Tampa Bay Bandits. Those are the 8 teams for the USFL. Now, realistically, what I would love to see happen, right, which would make it an even bigger minor league and would be beneficial for everyone, is if the USFL and the XFL just combined, so that way they could have 2 divisions and have it make more sense than just 2 divisions of 4 teams. It would be 2 divisions of 8. And then you could have the USFL, sort of like the AFC, and the XFL, like the NFC, and then at the end of the year, they play for just the main championship. That would probably be the best move they could make, although I don't think there's a lot of crossover between those two leagues right now.
I know exactly how you could do it too. You could call the USFL the US division, and then you call the XFL the X division.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's like the AFC is the American Football Conference, and the NFC, I think, is... What is the NFC stand for? National Football Conference. Yeah. So you could have it play out like that. And again, it would work for a minor league thing, because then you have double the teams. You could probably expand to a couple more games in a season. Like, instead of 10, you could probably make it a 12-game season.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, like I said, at a championship at the end of the year, you could have the top 4 teams from the XFL compete in a tournament, top 4 teams from the USFL, and then they meet in the middle for a championship between both leagues. I feel like that would work, and that would make
Isn't
me
that how
care.
Isn't that how the NFL got started with
Yes.
these different leagues?
Yes, exactly. The NFC and
just-
AFC were 2 completely different leagues, and then they eventually formed the NFL by combining their leagues.
I was about to say, so we're just remaking the NFL.
And you
is
know what?
I hear.
It could work. Like, it genuinely could be something that works. I don't see why they don't do it, especially since, you know, the XFL was pretty successful. Look at the St. Louis Battlehawks, right? They have probably the best fan base of the XFL. They currently hold the XFL attendance record of 38,000 fans on their home opener. Not like a game that mattered. The first home game, they filled in 38,000, which, yes, is not NFL numbers, but compared to the XFL in general, that is a huge amount of people going to watch football.
Yeah, that's a pretty big amount. My main question is, what in your opinion, is there something that the NFL could take from the XFL or even the USFL to like make itself better?
XFL, I would like to say that they could kind of adopt the extra point system, like still have a field goal kick for a single point, but then kind of adopt like the extra 2 or 3 points, like keep it same 5-yard line or 10-yard line. But then again, they could still just have that extra point, single point for a field goal kick. And then refs need to lay the fuck off of flags in the NFL.
Oh my god, they're so fucking bad.
Yeah,
these
no,
days.
like the XFL, like there are still flags, but they do not call flags nearly as often, and it has to be a very clear violation of the rules. Like it's letting the players play the game is essentially what I want them to do.
They don't do that in the NFL anymore.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
yeah.
like
NFL. I'm sorry, you know
But
what I meant.
it's because there's so much. They're afraid of decreasing value and losing revenue from. Say, you know, if they let the players play and it wasn't a very flagrant penalty, but someone still gets severely injured somehow, caused by whatever the other person did, then that person's out of commission for however long they're out of commission for. And guess what? Then the next person's up to bat, and then so on and so forth. It repeats the same cycle.
It's a contact sport.
I completely understand that. I would like to see more things just be allowed, but again, I feel like in the end, I mean, it is a business, and
it's
they're
a multi-billion-dollar franchise. Yeah, they have to protect their athletes the best they can, but I feel like it's a bit excessive. It feels like every other play in the NFL has a flag.
NFL has turned into soccer almost.
Hey, you leave soccer alone.
No, he's right.
I'm not saying the soccer players aren't like, I don't know, macho or whatever they try to portray themselves as. What I'm saying is that the NFL, like, soccer is not a contact sport.
That's true.
It's never, like, it's not supposed to be either.
Yeah.
Soccer is more of a game of agility and speed.
Mm.
That's why you watch soccer, is to watch these guys
basically
really
outrun each other. Okay, I see your point there. Yeah, because soccer is definitely not supposed to be a contact sport, so I get that.
I didn't know that's why y'all watch soccer. I watch soccer for the dramatization of someone touching them.
Dude,
They'll fall on the ground
it's
and complain for
hilarious to
10
watch
minutes.
those. I think the only reason I like soccer is because I still remember it was like 2014, the men's FIFA World Cup. I watched it, and that inspired me to want to play soccer, and then I played soccer, and now I still enjoy soccer. You know, like it's not one of my favorite sports. I mean, I
Mm.
guess it is kind of one of my favorite sports, but like if I had to pick a top 3, I don't think it's quite reaching the top 3 personally.
No.
But like the international championships, like the FIFA World Cups, I will go out of my way to watch those. Cause, you know, there's a sense of pride in seeing
Yeah.
America try to kick the competition's ass.
Mm-hmm. And I enjoy FIFA as well.
Um. Oh gosh, what was I gonna say? I'll typically just watch the Olympics if I want to try to feel some sort of pride for, you know, competition.
Yeah.
Against like any other country, namely the friggin' basketball, the
See,
basketball Olympics or whatever.
yeah, I mean, I think the Olympics are the only time that I'll really watch basketball aside from the NCAA March Madness tournament. I'm just not a big
I,
basketball guy.
I definitely prefer basketball to soccer. I
To each
so
their own, like.
yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that. You know, you watch soccer and that got you inspired to play soccer.
Mhm.
And so something similar happened to me, except like I was going to a new school. This was my first year at the school, and this is the one I graduated from.
Right.
But I was in the 7th grade, and there we had a co-ed soccer team,
Mhm.
and you know, the first game, very first game, we saw, you know, just everybody was a lot shorter than we were, and I'm like, okay, I knew nothing about soccer, mind you, um,
Right.
and so I saw all these shrimps. I know I saw all these really short, you know, really skinny looking guys,
Mhm.
and I'm like, okay, yeah, we got this. And again, I know it's a non-contact sport at the time, but my goodness, could they run? And they outran us. And that whole season,
Mhm.
we didn't win a single game,
Oh, damn.
and we didn't score a single goal until the very, very last game. And the person to do it was someone who ended up showing up late for that game too. I think we were pretty much already halfway done, and she just comes in after going to like a doctor's appointment or something. She comes in
Right.
and just kicks from like midfield and somehow gets it in. The goalie was playing up really, really. They were playing like very forward,
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
I guess it just got by him or something. But
See,
like,
happens.
that's the thing with
and
soccer too, is like
since that point, I've hated it.
that's fair, but like that's the thing with soccer is you gotta prioritize different muscle groups and different movement types than you would most other sports. Like most soccer players you see are not gonna be ripped, right? They're gonna be pretty
Right? Yeah.
skinny and lanky because they're gonna be
Mm-hmm.
faster. I remember one of my dad's friends who used to actually train us in his gym one summer. He used to play NCAA football, had a brief stint with the Chargers, and then played in the Canadian Football League for a little bit. And I remember him saying that for one training while he was with the Chargers, the coaches made them play a soccer game. And they were more winded than they had ever been from any other practice. Like, it's just because soccer you're prioritizing more running and legs, whereas, you know, stuff like football, you have to prioritize almost a full body workout because you have to make sure you have upper arm strength to make sure you're blocking the opponents. But then you do still need speed as well. But I'm pretty sure if you put like NFL players and soccer players in just a straight running contest, the soccer players are going to win most of the time because they prioritize running.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Uh, my one of my favorite sports is mixed martial arts, and the reason why I love that sport is because yes, the violence,
Yeah.
yes, the violence, but violence, kill him. But I
Grab his
also
dick and twist it.
Oh, dude, what? What? This is a wrestling match, dude.
You twist that dick, twist the dick, oh, dick twist. But the reason why I love MMA is because it started off like MMA started off with the Gracies, who basically invented Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, wanting to show off to the rest of the world, hey, my martial art can defeat all of your martial arts, and they suck by comparison. And then Royce Gracie, who wasn't even the best out of all of the Gracie children, he was literally okay, but the reason they picked him is because he was 195 pounds, and they wanted to show that a dude the small dude who's just really skilled could defeat all of these people.
Mm-hmm.
So he went and won the first UFC, and then everybody was like, "What?" And then he went and he won the second one, and everyone's like, and then other people are starting to fight his brothers who were like better than him in like Japan and stuff. And it took almost an entire decade before people started to figure out the holes in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And by then, UFC is already like a thing that's taken off. And they discovered that wrestlers and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys had real distinct advantages over boxers. Because once the fight goes to the ground, the boxer doesn't really have much. And that's one of the things I love about UFC is that the game is constantly changing. Like, because you'll have a guy that comes out of nowhere and he's like okay at grappling, so he's able to keep people off of him, but he's also a really good striker, so he'll start knocking people out.
Yeah.
Because that's what started to happen in the early 2000s, like Chuck Liddell. Chuck Liddell was a high-level wrestler, but he also had dynamite in his hands. So what he would do is he would stuff people's takedowns to keep it standing, and then he'd come in with an overhand right and just knock people out for like 8 fights in a row. So if you think of an MMA fighter if you think of an MMA fighter and it's that guy with the ice blue eyes with that handlebar mustache and the mohawk, that's Chuck Liddell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's Chuck Liddell. He was one of the first strikers to really get MMA like over as a sport.
Yeah.
And it just started to kind of grow from there. And because I'm a wrestler, because I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, because I do Army Combatives, which Army Combatives is like is a combination of boxing, Muay Thai, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And when I say a combination, I mean we do the basic bitch stuff of all of those. If you put me in a Muay Thai fight against a guy who does Muay Thai for like 3 months, he kicks my ass.
Right.
But so it's one of those things. But because of the way that I've been training, I can appreciate it so much more.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love to watch the human chess match almost that happens whenever you have different fighters play against each other.
Yeah, I could see that.
I don't know. Some people just look at the brutality and then they shirk away from it and they're like, "Oh, you're so violent." I'm like, well, yeah, that's part of it.
I was about to say, if they're signing up for it, they know what they're getting into, then that's what makes it enjoyable to watch. Like, personally, I can't really watch most street fighting videos.
Street fighting.
Yeah, no, I can't watch those because it's like, okay, yeah, this is going to be very amateur. They're not going to know what they're doing. And again, it's like not in a professional environment. But like, if these two people are getting paid to beat the shit out of each other, I want to see everything. I want to see broken bones. I want to see teeth flying out. Like,
and the thing is that some of the guys were like Ken Shamrock. You know who Ken Shamrock is.
Oh, I know Ken Shamrock. Yeah.
He wasn't sure if what he was going into was going to be a legit fight or one of those pro wrestling fights that he sometimes
like
did.
a shoot, or not a shoot fight, like a script fight. Shoots an actual fight. Yeah.
So what actually tipped him off? So what actually confirmed? Oh, this is Full Tilt Boogie. Was the very first match where it was a Savate kickboxer versus a sumo wrestler, and the Savate guy kicked the sumo guy in the face so hard that it broke his nose, broke his teeth. There was teeth flying everywhere, and the fight was immediately stopped. They had to tape up the Savate guy's foot because there were teeth stuck in it.
God damn.
Yeah, he kicked him so hard that his teeth were stuck in his foot.
Talk about a double-edged sword of attack.
This is why MMA fighters wear mouth guards now.
Fair. But I was about to say, we are at about 10 minutes. Do either of y'all have nerd outs?
Hold on, wait. I fucking love MMA. Oh, there we go. I had to
Dan,
get that
I know
out.
you texted before we started recording saying you didn't have anything in mind. Do you have a nerd out in mind at all?
Not really. Kirby Air Ride is fun. I like Kirby Air Ride a lot, and I just realized that there's competitive Kirby Air Ride, which is pretty insane because I didn't even think that was a thing. Didn't even think that there was a community based around it still, but it's got quite a cult following, and I can appreciate that. They've got the way that you can there's like a what's it called? There's like a build all set out for you as well, and if you follow those steps, then you can place pretty much seamlessly. I don't know why I had such a hard time with that word. It's like you'd be playing on a console pretty much, and I think that's quite insane, but it's also very cool.
Kirby Air Ride, just a base game.
Yeah, I would play that game a lot with my older brother. We played that quite a bit, and I didn't realize how good of a game it was until I got a little older. But I got so upset that he kept beating me that I ended up taking the disc out while no one was around, and I just scratched it on the floor real bad. Yeah, so I was. Needless to say, I regret that moment.
Oh, so you were just a little bitch.
Yeah, I was.
Jesus Christ! I've never gotten that upset about my brother kicking my ass in video games.
Oh, I was like 7 or 8.
Oh, that's fair.
And, yeah.
See, I threatened to break a couple of games, but I never did.
Yeah, I didn't realize the value of it. Even back then, I don't think it was one of the major releases.
Right.
But it was still one that I really enjoyed whenever I was winning against the level 1 computers,
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's my nerd out. Kirby Air Ride is awesome, and if you ever get a chance to play it, I highly suggest doing that. Also, get Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp. Caleb.
Yes, Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp.
Yeah,
baby!
I got it the other day, and like I said, I've only played a few matches in the campaign and in the first game, but oh my gosh, it's so good, so good.
Mm-hmm.
How long have we been talking?
We're sitting at 53 minutes now.
Oh, so I have time for a nerd out?
You do, if you've got one in mind.
Okay, I'm a nerd out.
All right, let's go.
Nerd out. So I'm gonna nerd out a little bit more about MMA. Okay, just so because you got me in the mood.
Yeah.
Talk.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna just I'm gonna treat this like Jake just asked me. So if I wanted to be good at MMA or defend myself, what should I do?
Caleb, what should I learn if I want to be an MMA fighter?
Well, there are 2 routes that you could go, but to start off. But there are basically 4 main pillars to this to MMA. And those pillars are wrestling, jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, and boxing.
Okay.
So a lot of people, when they first start off, they're usually good at 2 of those things.
Okay.
And the thing is that a lot of those skill sets ironically complement each other. Boxing and wrestling are really good at complementing each other because both of them encourage pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and kickboxing, and when I say kickboxing, I mean Savate, I mean Muay Thai, I mean Dutch kickboxing. They're all different styles, but basically hands plus feet.
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 Ooh, grippers.
Mhm. It grips your soul as it takes it from you. But the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and kickboxing are more counter type martial arts. For instance, a boxer will come in and he'll try to pressure a kickboxer. A kickboxer will push kick to kick him away, and then when the boxer comes back in, he'll throw a roundhouse and kick his head off. That kind of stuff. At the same time, if the boxer is really good, he'll just kind of slip past and get in there before the kickboxer can use his legs. And a boxer's hands will always be better than a kickboxer's hands because they just use them more.
Yeah.
So they'll kick the shit out. So they'll beat the shit out of them. So if you wanted to do that, if you wrestled in high school or middle school, take boxing because you'll be used to the pressure that comes with it. Another good route is to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai. That way, because Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu does do takedowns and stuff, not as much as wrestling, but you still learn it. And Muay Thai is every strike you can possibly throw because it's the art of 8 limbs. So it's hands, feet, knees, elbows. So
Ouch.
the art of 8 limbs. 2, 4, 6,
Head,
8.
shoulders, knees, and toes, you know.
Nah. If you wanted to do headbutts, you'd have to do left way.
Eyes and ears and nose and mouth.
But you said MMA, and headbutts are illegal in MMA.
I'm just trying to meme.
Yeah, I know. But so yeah, Jake, what you gotta do is you gotta go to the local Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu club,
Okay.
and you gotta walk up to the black belt.
Yes.
And then you got to say, hey, you want to roll? If the black belt says yes, you know you've picked a good gym. And then the black belt will fold your laundry with you wearing it in about 5 seconds.
That's a great way to put it. That's creative.
In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the art of gently folding people's laundry while they are wearing it.
I did jujitsu maybe like 3 or 4 times a couple of years ago, and there was a blue belt who was just, my goodness, and that was like my first time doing it too. But he pretty much did exactly what you said, and he was just messing with me too. Like he wasn't even trying.
Yep.
Like, man, and I was exhausted afterwards too. I'm like, oh, man, I'm out of breath.
and the reason why you wanna learn, you want to be pretty good at all of them. You want to be a pretty good boxer. You want to be a pretty good wrestler. You want to be a pretty good kickboxer. You want to be a pretty good jiu-jitsu guy, because the takedowns are important in MMA, because if you get takedowns, you're more likely to win the match overall if you're constantly the one doing pressure. Same thing with boxing. But at the same time, you want to be able to counter guys in case they start to rev up. And submissions are a good way to win, because it's very hard to knock somebody out consistently. Very few guys have that death touch where they can just hit you and then you slump to the ground. The chances of you being that guy are astronomically low. But can it happen? Yes. There's always a chance that you'll hit somebody dead center and they will crumble like a sack of potatoes. But
Potatoes don't crumble.
They'll fall over like a sack of potatoes.
Finish your nerd out. Time's up. Finish it up.
Okay. Basically, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, boxing. You'll be fine.
Will you?
You'll be more dangerous than 90% of the population.
No, okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Carry a gun, you'll be even more dangerous.
I got one more thing to ask both of you real quick.
Okay.
Yes.
I know we're getting to the end of the segment, but have either of you ever heard of Bully Beatdown?
Yes.
Bully
Oh my
Beatdown.
yes. Oh my goodness, dude. It's so much fun to watch. I don't think they play it anymore, but if they do, I'd definitely be watching it.
Bully Beatdown is basically, you explain it, Dan.
Well, I feel like you would do better. It's been so long, but I'll try to explain it as best as I can. So pretty much, you have, what is it, MMA? Are they MMA fighters? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have some MMA fighters who are teaming up with like the victims of like some some pretty serious bullies. I remember one guy that I guess he was featured in the episode, like actually teabagged a couple of guys, and he actually like stuffed his you know his parts
Oh.
into their mouth.
Oh.
And so just constantly putting them down, and the works.
Man.
So go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just to say, if anyone ever did that to me, it'd be over, guys. I'd send you all a text at 3 a.m. and say thank you for being in my life, and you'd never hear from me ever again.
Oh no!
If anyone ever did that to me.
So anyway, what happens is they reach out to the show, and the show provides an MMA fighter who will get in touch with or I guess the company will get in touch with the bully and say, hey, I have an opportunity for you to make like $10,000 or $20,000 if you last in the ring with my MMA fighter right here. If not, then if you're not able to, then you lose all the money and you get humiliated on TV. And of course, like 9 times out of 10, they take it. But it's a pretty fun watch. This one dude just completely knocked a guy out just cold with a really swift kick, and he took him out, and the guy was like, hey, sorry, I wasn't supposed to kick you. And the bully ended up winning the money, but the bully was like, no, okay, I get it, I'm sorry, guys. I won't be this way anymore. This taught me a valuable lesson, blah, blah, blah. I'm not sure if they just did that because it was on a TV show or what, but
sometimes all a person needs in their lives is to know that there's a bigger fish out there somewhere, and it just humbles them.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's nothing quite like a good old-fashioned ass kicking to put a person in their place.
Yeah, again, really, really good show. I don't think that they play it anymore, but I would like search on YouTube if you get the chance.
I was about to say, I'm gonna go find clips on YouTube and start watching this shit again.
I'll try to post the one. I'll try to post the one that I was talking about in the Discord or something.
Yes.
Link down below.
But anyway, that does take us to about time. Do either of y'all have any last final closing statements before we end this episode?
Get Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp.
Woo! Yeah, baby! Woo! This is just gonna be a running joke until, like, the sales skyrocket out of existence, like...
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching and or listening this week. Thank you very much to, this week's guest, Diabetic Dan. If you're in the Discord, you probably know who he is. He's a very prominent figure there. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you guys next week, and have a great rest of your day.